Hi everybody, this is Nikki, and I am here to make a video that is my personal experience, personal opinion, not to be used as medical advice. I am making this video and my goal is to make this less than 8 minutes. I'm making this video because there has been a lot of discussion on some user groups, about whether or not auto mode works. I mean, that's at the core of it, but it's really a lot about sensor accuracy. So I'm on here as quickly and boringly as possible to tell you what I think about sensor accuracy, because I've been keeping logs about my BG and my SG for a couple of months now. I have seen over and over and over again how accurate, quote unquote, accurate my sensor is when my blood sugars are stable, and how quote unquote inaccurate it is when my blood sugars are on the move. So I have seen this in the numbers, and now because I'm reading about my calibration factor and kind of what all of that is, I'm seeing in the literature that this is no surprise and this is nothing new, that this is a known part of sensor technology, is this delay, and that there is already a concern out there with them, the scientists, the makers, the industry, about whether or not they can create a device that can appropriately deliver insulin based on these numbers because of the lag. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to demonstrate the SG delay by showing you guys how accurate my numbers were. This was yesterday morning when I woke up and was stable. I won't talk about my calibration factor. I'll just tell you I knew I was stable. I got out at 4:30. I slept till 6:15 a.m. My blood sugars are usually relatively good at that time, and then my calibration factor is how I know how stable I am. Yesterday I was actually dropping a little bit. My calibration factor was dropping a little bit. So when I woke up at 6:15 in the morning, my SG was a 123, my BG was a 107. Again, that's not just an inaccurate number. That's actually a little bit of a delay in the other direction. My blood sugar was dropping a little bit, and that SG was following behind it. Okay. 6:15, 123 SG, BG 107. At 8:41, my SG was a 110, my BG was a 105, 5 points difference. At 10:54 a.m., my SG was a 118, my BG was a 116, 2 points difference. At 11:23, my SG was a 123, my BG was a 126. Those are pretty tight numbers. That's not coincidence. I'm working hard on my mornings on keeping stable blood sugars. And I hope that that is evidence of stable blood sugars. Now, in contrast, I'll tell you guys about what happened when I ate a banana the other morning, and for some reason lately, bananas are really giving me some trouble. And I'd like you to take a look at what happens with my SG and BG relationship with the moving blood sugar, with a rising blood sugar. Okay, so I ate my banana. I did my insulin at 9:38 a.m. At 9:48 a.m., 10 minutes later, my SG was a 91, my BG was a 92. I was going into it stable. At 10 o'clock, so about 12 minutes later, SG was a 98, BG was a 108. There's a 10-point difference. At 10:10, 10 minutes later, my SG was a 108, which was my last BG. My BG was a 140. So now we're at 32-point difference. Had I looked at just this moment, just this flash, I'd go, oh wow, it's inaccurate. At 10:20, my SG was a 133, 2 arrows up. My BG was a 169, 36-point difference. 10 minutes after that, 166 and 184. 10 minutes after that, 165 and 192. Ultimately, after I exercised and did more insulin, a 165 and 189. Now, 165 and 189 isn't even a huge difference. Some people are reporting seeing a 100-point difference or 80-point difference, but that is not even a coincidence. And I've seen those differences too. The reason that one wasn't huge is because I did get on my mini trampoline and jump for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever, to try to slow that rise. And I also had insulin on board, which meant it was a slower rise than if I hadn't done those things, where it would have gone through the roof and my SG would have been way delayed. And then I'll tell you in the opposite direction. So at 1:15, however, there's a couple hours, I think, after that last reading, my SG was back to a 146, my BG was back to a 142. Again, now I'm back to stable again. 3 hours after that, my SG was a 78, BG of an 81, again, very accurate. Hour and a half later, 137, 133. very nice, tight numbers and everything. Then I actually got on and jumped. Earlier, I did it just to slow down a blood sugar rise. But at this point, I decided to do my exercise. So it's 30 minutes jumping. After exercise, I ended up, and I tested just once, an SG of a 101, 3 arrows down, BG of a 60. So here we are, 41 points difference. Again, not an inaccuracy, but a delay. This delay is known. I mean, they understand it. And in fact, in the literature, they talk about it's not just a physiological delay. They do know that the interstitial fluid follows the BG rise. In fact, it's the opposite in the other direction, but I won't get into it. They do know this, and they do say it's anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes. Some say 6 to 11 minutes. They do all agree that it's variable, and there's a lot of variability. So they can't pin it down and say, okay, it's going to be 6 to 8 minutes, and that's it. Some even give 5 to 25 minutes, but they know about the physiological delay, but now they're talking about an instrumental delay. And now with the newest technology, our artificial pancreas, they're talking about a computational delay. Although that may have even been just a sensor. But now we have a confounded delay rather than that initial, just happening inside of our bodies. And I think that makes sense, and it's how I can be suspended for 1 hour when my blood sugar returned to normal. I'm going to say 12 minutes after I had a sugar crash, and sometimes it's like 6 minutes afterwards. But why those long delays before it gives me insulin again? And this is why I think that some people love auto mode and some people don't. And I think that people with a tendency toward more stable blood sugars, no matter why, this is not a judgment, no matter why, whether it's your brand of diabetes or whether you just have impeccable behaviors, if you have more stable blood sugars, your SG is going to be more accurate, more reliable. Your pump is going to be able to make better decisions because it's working with a good number. If you have big swings, it's always behind where you are, and so therefore sometimes giving inappropriate treatment and leading to frustration. I had quotes, but I'm not going to bore you guys with it. I'm going to get out of here. 7.5 minutes. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.